It's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition for tonight headlines. We have the bilateral meetings between President Kirli and the leaders of the friendly countries. For international scene with the right in the lead in Cyprus in Sudan. Welcome to our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margele, has, after his participation in the summit of the African Union held yesterday Sunday in Niamey, the capital of Niger, the participation of the President of Djibouti at the African Union summit in Niamey was, among other things, marked by the important address he made to the platforms of this event. In this intervention, the head of state has essentially recalled the reasons that had led his country to rectify quickly the agreement on the entry into forces of the African Continental Free Trade Area. Our country has decided in favor of the entry into the Continental Free Trade Zone because of the surplus benefits related to this situation, he said. In substance, President Gele's participation in the African Union Summit was also marked by a series of other interventions he made in closed meetings between African head of state and government, where he had strongly printed Djibouti's position on a number of topics on the agenda of the Pan-African organization, including the issue of oil reform, the questions of fundings of the new African Peace Fund, the issues of membership, reductions of EU Commission team. In addition to his participation in the African Union Summit, President Ismail Omar Guelleh also took advantage of his work trip to Niamey, Niger, to meet with several of his peers, head of state and government of the Black Continent participating like him at this seat. The President of Democratic and Federal Republic of Ethiopia, Ms. Sahle Work Zowde, is one of the leaders of friendly countries of the Black Continent, with whom the President of the Republic had bilateral an important delegation composed, among others, of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the Minister of Commerce, Mr. Hassan Mohamed Arbahim, the Ambassador of the Republic of Djibouti to the Democratic and Federal Republic of Ethiopia, and permanent representative of our countries to the African Union, Mohamed Idris Farah, participate alongside the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Margele, at the summit of the African Union in Niamey, Niger. This Monday, July 8, 2019, the Premature hosted a ceremony of decoration in honor of 5 Djiboutian personalities who have greatly contributed to the development of Djibouti, chaired by His Excellency Abdulkader Kamil Mohammed. This ceremony was an opportunity to decorate 5 generous partners of the National Gendarmerie on the proposals of Colonel Zakaria Hassan Adan, the Chief of the Staff of the National Gendarmerie, His Excellency Hassan Umar Mohammed Burhan, the Ministers of Defense in charge with the relation with the Parliament, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Adan, Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie, and advisors to the Prime Ministers in this person of Mr. Ali Silla, were present at this award ceremony. Among the recipients, Mr. Guled Ahmed Yusuf, Mr. Gamil Abdul Qadir Ali, respectively Director of General of Customs and Indirect Right, and the Chief Executive Officers of Al Gamil Group, were elevated to the rank of the Commanders in the National Order of June 27. Mahmoud Musa Ahmed, former Director General of ADR, Muhammad Yusuf Sharmake, Director General of the Airport, and Abdurrahman Ali Abdullahi, General Directors of Air Djibouti, have meanwhile been appointed to the rank of officers in order to the National June 27. After the decoration, the recipients were received at General Staff of the Gendarmerie by Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, Chief of Staff of the National Gendarmerie, where a lunch was offered in honor of the distinguished personalities. It was on the sidelines of this friendly moment that Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, Chief of Staff of National Gendarmerie, took the floors and addressed the decorated to congratulate them and especially to express their deep gratitude for their immeasurable support that they brought to the nations. In pursuit, Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, Chief of Staff of National Gendarmerie, renewed his heartfelt thanks to the recipients who are now part of the great adventure. He also warmly thanked the Minister of Defense for his continuous support to the Gendarmerie Nationale since taking office at the head of the ministry. Finally, he paid a heartfelt tribute to His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, President of the Republic and Supreme Chief of the Armed Forces, for his invaluable and multiform support to the National Gendarmerie. That's why they took the opportunity to testify to him on behalf of himself, the whole Gendarmerie, his deep gratitude and his total gratitude. The Minister of Defense in charge of relations with the Parliament also addressed Hassan Omar Mohammed, also addressed the recipients whom he congratulated in turn for the support of the Gendarmerie. He said that he was able to measure the extent of the support through the testimony of gratitude given to them by the Colonel Zakaria Hassan Aden, Chief of the Staff of National Gendarmerie. While addressing them to the names of the entire government, his heartfelt thanks for their support. Finally, the Minister of Defense has not failed to pay a tribute to His Excellency the President of the Republic for all the support he provides permanently to the National Gendarmerie. The Housing Ministers Amina Abdi Aden and the Minister of Finance Ilyas Musa Dawale this morning gathered in all the ambassadors and NGOs representatives at Campus Key Hotel. This meeting, which brought together several ambassadors and several technical partners, aimed to develop strategic pool them and raise awareness in order to obtain better funding for the housing sector, and specifically the Zero Bidonville government flagship, Zero Bidonville, his bold program that aims to integrate the receptions of precarious housing and will end the slums in the capital by improving the sustainable urban living condition and respond appropriately to the needs of decent housing for all the Djiboutians. These Zero Bidonville programs will regularize what is informal. Its implementation will be done concretely by the redevelopment of the older peripheral districts. Sites unsuitable for housing will be released. This will improve the situation of many citizens facing the consequence of rampant urbanizations and will tackle the difficulties of access to land, basic urban service, and decent and affordable housing. The purpose of this day was to promote this project and to enlighten the partners to request their participation for this project, which is an imperative issue by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, to his government so that the citizens of Djibouti can enjoy decent housing. For his part, the Minister of Economy, Ilyas Musa Dawale, in his speech, stressed the capital importance of this project for the countries, but also although its urbanization is allowed, the minister said that the government, under the impetus of the President of the Republic, has made every Djiboutian's household access to decent housing a national priority. The minister emphasized that housing law is an integral part of inclusive development as a factor of family harmony and social stability. The Housing Ministers Amina Abdi Adens, who presented the flagship project of the Zero Bidonville government, The minister stressed that the government of Djibouti has the ambition to eliminate shanty towns on its territory and to offer good living conditions to all inhabitants. On the mornings of Mondays, July 8, a large meeting was held on the progress and coordination of the Sustainable Electrification Program. The EDD, led by EDD, the meeting was chaired by the Ministers of Energy in charge of Natural Resources, Yunis Ali Gedi, the Minister of Finance, Ilyas Musa Dawale, the Minister of Social Affairs, Muna Usman Aden, the Minister of Housing, Amin Abdi Aden, the Ministers of the Interior, Mumin Ahmed Sheikh, the Minister of Planning and Environment, Mohammed Abdul Qadir Musa. Also, note the presence of senior officials of the sectoral ministries at this meeting. The floor is given to the EDD, who present the current status and future plans. This project is the first step of the National Sustainable Electrification Program, which aims at a 100% electrification rate by 2035, launched in 2018. For his part, the Minister of Energy, Yunis Ali Gedi, in his speech told broadening access to electrify in the target area of the program, that are Balbala and inland area. There are 13,000 households throughout the countries, including 9,000 in Balbala, improving the deliveries of EDD services through technical assistance and capacity building, the reductions of extreme poverty and promotions of shared prosperity in a sustainable way by creating the necessary conditions for the development of private sectors through the electrification of a medium and low income area. Chinese delegation is led by the Deputy Police Chief of the Henan Zhujiang Department in Djibouti. The Chinese delegation, accompanied by the National Police Director Colonel Abdullahi Abdi Farah, and senior officers went to the central police stations located on the Boulevard de la République. The members of the Chinese police delegation and host then headed to the conference room, where a discussion of common interest was initiated to embellish in a series of screening explaining the operations and activities of the police, progress made in a recent decade, not only in logistics but also in terms of human resources itself, not in pacing that the commanders Abdul Karim Ahmed Asawi, who was responsible for the various explanations detailed and who also answered any questions. The Chinese delegation had the honors after the visit of the police stations to visit the police academy. Idris Farah Abane, still guided by the director of the National Police, Colonel Abdullahi Abdi Farah. On site, the Chinese delegation and its suite went chronologically to the library, the training room, and then to the dormitory, composed of rooms equipped in an ultra-modern way so that the agents can perform their exercises in the best possible condition. To end in beauty, all this world has lent itself to the traditional family photo. In an interview, the head of the Chinese delegation said he was satisfied with this visit and did not fail to underline the fruitful cooperation and friendly relation between Djibouti and China. Listen to him, please.
C'est un beau pays. J'ai passé une journée très agréable ici. Les relations sino-djiboutiennes datent d'une longue histoire. Ma visite ici, c'est pour établir les coopérations avec la police djiboutienne.
Another ceremony took place this morning in the courtrooms of the Court of Appeal, the courthouses. The ceremony was chaired by the first president of the Court of Appeal, Ms. Nirma Ali Warsama, surrounded by her advisors. The three new lawyers and 7 justice experts were sworn in before the first president of the Court of Appeals. That since the advent of the new civil code and following the creations of the judicial expert as regulated by various articles, the experts of justice, after they're on the list and before taking office, it is the duty of sworn before the Court of Appeal from Djibouti. Lawyers have also been sworn in. They are Master Ali Arif Muhammad, Mr. Wais Abdurrahman Hassan, as well as Mr. Sadiq Ali Ismail have sworn before God and means never to have any right and duty and respect for the court and public authorities. As part of the promotion and women football of the neighborhood Tree Communities Development Center, last night hosted the giant screens projections of the Women's World Cup final between the 4 times world champions in US, the Dutch selection's reigning European champion. After a punctuated first period and a slight slack after the restart, the American came back with a goal scored in 61st minute, a score lines that obviously inspired her teammate Lavelle, who followed suit in the 69th minute. For the international scene, consists of few days ago, senior officials of the Sudanese military transitional councils have been celebrated as heroes since the announcement of the signings of power sharing government with civilian. The vice president of the councils, General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo, called for national unity and said the military will to implement this agreement in order to get the countries out of the political stalemate in which it has been plunged since the fall of Omar al-Bashir. Now we promise you and our brethren with whom we have agreed that from now on we will go forward and join our effort and talk to each other so that we are able to move these countries forward, because that he has the resources he needs, and these resources are in our hand. We must protect them, and the countries needs our effort to move forward, said General Mohammed Hamdan Dagalo. To close up this edition, the conservative New Democracy Party defeated Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras in the July 7, 2019 general elections. Kyriakos Mitsotakis therefore becomes the new leader of Greece and promised to take steps to stimulate the country's growth, which came out of a difficult financial crisis. According to provisional results, the New Democracy Party won an absolute majority with 158 seats, followed by Syriza 86 seats, and the Kenya Former Socialist Party won 22 seats. The Communist Party would be credited with 15 seats. Finally, the Nationalist Social Solutions Greek and MIPA 25 Yanis Varoufakis respectively get 10 and 9 deputies. According to the Greek media, the outgoing prime minister, who is suffering the full consequence of the austerity policy. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us.